Hey guys, and welcome back. So this is episode 3 of my world review, and today we are gonna see the last farm I didn't show you previously. So still have the mushroom and seed and flower farm, but before that, just wanted to show you one thing I've been asked a lot. It's the gravel recycler. So I use it to turn the gravel into sand and flint. And to do that, all you need is a hopper and a wicker placed in the filter slot. That's the hopper right here. Not sure if you can see it. So the design I was using changed a little bit since I can't use the piston launching up item effect. So I made that ugly things with ladders to keep the same thing without having to change the old design. And all you have to do is throw the gravel on top of the hopper with the wicker, and the sand will go through the hopper, and the flint will fly up above and fall into the chest right here. So if you want to do the same thing, you don't have to do something fancy like that. All you can do is just place a hopper on the ground and use a wicker as filter, and you just throw the gravel on top of it, and the flint will stay on top, and the sand will go through the hopper. But you have to, of course, um, send mechanical power to the hopper. Moving on to the mushroom farm, I realized that my design is really stupid actually, because you don't need to use block dispenser to plant and remove the mushrooms, because I found out that you can actually plant your mushroom one block above, and they'll spread on the block below, so you don't even need to use dispenser. Just use one row of mushroom used as seeds above, and you can harvest the rest of it with water with no problem. So nothing special about it. You just need to use a dark room, because mushrooms only spread in a low light level. So you can place a torch directly next to mushroom, because if you update the block, the mushroom will be deleted, destroyed. Just like so, and mushrooms spread really quickly, so that's quite easy to do, and will bring you a huge source of food quite easily. So you should really do one. Moving on to the seed farm. So for this one, all you need is a bed of grass. This one is 6 by 6, and bone meal, of course, and something to turn off the light, because when the light is off, the tall grass will be destroyed almost immediately, and if they're not, the one remaining will be destroyed once the block update. So you can just fastly click the bone meal, and the tall grass will grow and gets immediately destroyed. And after that, just use water, because it's easier to harvest all of it. And this way you can get really easily flowers, seeds, and even some hemp seeds. and maybe some monsters too. And the one thing you need to know is that you have to keep the light on if the water is above the grass, or the grass will die, because if there's not enough light over the grass, it gets destroyed. So that's why I added a switch, because water prevent the light from going into the grass, and so it gets destroyed. And you might have some monsters spawning, so it might be a good idea to close the door. So moving on to the tanning factory. So this design, I realized, isn't perfect. I'll explain you why. First I'll show you how it works. So the main water stream has a hopper right here with a grate, I think. Let me see. Yeah, a grate as filter. So when I throw leather and dung in here, the dung fall into the hopper straight down into the cauldron, while the leather fall right here into the millstone, and it's screwed. So the screw leather keeps flowing and fall into the cauldron. Back then you needed to use a hopper to place items into the cauldron, but now you can just throw them on top of the cauldron, so you don't need a hopper anymore. And the trick I use is that when the cauldron is full, the items will pop out after that. So let's say if I have some dung and skull leather here, there's no room in the cauldron for the 10 leather, so it will pop out of the cauldron and fall into the water stream and goes into the minecart chest right under here. But the flaw in this design is that the last piece of skull leather, when it's gonna be turned into 10 leather, will leave one spot empty, so the last piece of 10 leather will stay in the cauldron, and you have to manually come and empty it by hand. Well, not empty it, but just remove the last piece of 10 leather. So if you try to do something like that, I suggest you to use a block dispenser to swallow the cauldron. It's a better way to empty its contents. So that's now the donut factory. So there's only 4 spots of wheat growing right here, and the timing for the growth, use an amp clock. So when the amp grows, it will harvest the bottom of the amp and also unleash the water to harvest the wheat and the seeds. The seeds will fall into the hopper right here and get into the chest here, while the wheat will fall in the water and go down one more level into the millstones, and then the floor will fall into the level below, straight into the cauldron to make the donuts. And the little trick I have added is that every 27 cycles some dispenser will spit dung into the cauldron. To do that, I've used a water clock, so that's under this block right here. There's water above, so that's the timing for the water harvest. When the water flows, it's in the bottom here in front of this detector to set up the signal, and also to count how many cycles have been going using the block dispenser as counter, like the one I showed you in the kiln and the pottery video I made, and the dispenser spitting out dung are here, and I did that because donuts are only stackable up to 12, so when the after 27 cycles there's only one or two slots left, and so the dung, when it will fall into the cauldron, will turn all the donuts into full food, and the full food is stackable up to 64, so it will free some room into the cauldron inventory. And this way the donut factory will not be going on for nothing. So I'll get some full food, and it will start making some more donuts. Over there, there's nothing really special, just my very first elevator design. So that was my test area for it. I've just connected it to my main base because I might do something over here, not sure what, but I'll see that later. So nothing interesting here. Oops. So that's the collecting area. The slimes fall from here, and they die from the fall on top of the hopper. As you can see, it's working pretty well. It's been like 20 Minecraft days since I last came here to harvest it, and I'll show you quickly how it works. So let's get down there. So that's the path the slimes are using to climb, because they can climb ladders, and they're spawning here in this room. There's two chunks where slimes can spawn, so that's a 32 by 16 bed, and slimes, I don't know if you know that, but when they spawn they'll always move towards the walls in a room. They'll never go in the center. They're always gonna go into the corners, so you don't need water in the middle. Just you can make a huge bed, and the water flow only near the walls. And when they get here, the big and the medium slimes, who are 2 blocks high, will drown into this water, and they'll divide into smaller slimes, because only the small slimes can drop slime ball, and the small one, and only them, can go into here, and they'll get over the ladder. They'll be stuck here, try to jump, and start climbing all the way up there where the collecting area is. And I'll also added a hopper here, because sometimes some of them die here, because when there's too many of them, some of them stay stuck on top of the other, and they drown in the water here. So it's not 100% efficient, but still working very well, more than what I need. And I can thank TNT for digging out all this space. Otherwise it would have been such a pain. Let's get back up. So this place is useless. It was just because when I used TNT I dig at a bit too much space, so decided to do something of the remaining space instead of just well, I don't know. Anyway, um, oops. Let's call the elevator. I'll skip that and I'll take back up when I'm up there. And so, well, I'm probably gonna stop there. Just gonna add a small tip, so because someone asked me how to make the fence gate I use in front of my house, so I'll just show you that quickly. So let's see it. All you need to do that is just two sticky pistons and some pressure plate. I used the obsidian one. This way the monsters won't activate it. And let's get down. That's the wire connected to the pressure plate, and they're going into one torch right here, activating this piston, and the same one on the other side. I'll show you. Oops. The same thing is here. So when you press the pressure plate, the signal is sent into the torch to turn it off, so the pistons retract, just like so. And the pressure plate on the other side are connected the exact same way. I'll show you. Signal comes from here. I've placed the layer on the maximum delay, this way the pistons stay unextended for a few seconds. And that's it. There's nothing special. You can really easily do that. Pistons extended, the torch on each side, and the pressure plate connected to both torch. And that's it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm gonna make 2 more episodes to show you the remaining parts of my world. The forge, where I cook most of my stuff, and the mining system, the minecart system, sorry. I'll show you the mine, and I'll show you my mob trap after that. So, see you then, bye.